Let's go to MHA Sandy Collins of Terra Nova District. Sandy, you're on the air.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, and yourself?
Good. Bill,
is that your tweet I got here? Make no mistake, Ms. Rogers realized she was a member, and after hearing all the vile details of the group, she chooses to remain there. Is that you?
Absolutely, and I'd like to reiterate that and expand on a little bit if you give me an opportunity.
Absolutely, I will. I just wondered if it was another Sandy Collins or Sandy Collins MHA. Thank you very much for that.
I was starting to feel bad when you didn't reply to my tweet, but I understand you're not real big on Twitter.
I do not reply to tweets or emails. I read them all, and I use them as time permits on the air. Sandy, go ahead, sir.
Well, Bill, the thing is, the bigger picture here, and again, I don't want to express opinions at this point, just facts. So the bigger piece here, I think, and something that we need to acknowledge is, after being made aware of the vile and disgusting content, as I had said, on that site, when asked by media shortly thereafter if she'd be leaving the site, she said absolutely not. So I see a contradiction here. First, she had no idea, and she rose, and when she rose to the Speaker's order, she was part of. Then on the second hand, when asked by a reporter if she'd remove herself, knowing the content that's on that site, and it's widespread, she said, no, I'm going to choose to remain.
Sandy, let me answer this question for me, if you would. I've heard excerpts from from Minister King, the House Leader, government House Leader who raised it to begin with. I've heard statements by the Premier. I heard the ruling by the Speaker. What I don't know is, was there argument presented in the House before the Speaker made his ruling, either before the recess, the 2-hour recess, or afterwards? Did the Speaker have the benefit of argument and statements from all sides of the House on this matter of contempt or even the matter of privilege?
Well, once the matter was raised, I guess it was shortly thereafter that the Speaker went to break. So now I don't know what happened during the deliberation. I know members of all parties were coming and going at the House, so I don't know if there's some sort of consultation with the Speaker at that point.
I don't know if there was. If there was, that's irrelevant. I mean, what the Speaker should be making his decision on is arguments presented publicly in the House of Assembly by all sides.
Yeah, well, maybe so. But again, I'm not going to question the Speaker's ruling. And I think at this point...
No, but can you answer that question factually? Did he have arguments presented to him by all sides of the House, to your knowledge, as a member of the House yesterday?
Not during the House proceedings, no.
Well, that is really interesting. That's what I find somewhat appalling, that a Speaker jumps out and makes a decision out of a vacuum after a 2-hour recess without hearing arguments from the Leader of the NDP, Leader of the Liberals, back and forth, perhaps 2 or 3 different members making points on all sides of the House. But that's not your problem. What's your point of view?
And again, like I said, I don't know what happened during those 2 hours. So, yeah. But nonetheless, again, the bigger picture here is that after being made aware, it's one thing to say, I didn't know I was at it, which I really can't believe, but let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. She didn't know she was a member. That's fine. Then after finding out the vile content, and Bill, I got to tell you, I've seen some of it. It is absolutely disgusting. But after hearing that, she chooses to remain. That's the bigger picture for me.
Now, the site has been shut down. Is that correct?
To my understanding, I wasn't a member, obviously, but to my understanding that it's gone from public to private, and now I can't even speak directly to that. I've heard that just over Twitter myself.
And are you saying that she left her name, to your knowledge, she left her name there when it was public? I don't know if it's still there now when it's private.
Oh, well, she answered directly the question, will you remove yourself from the group after hearing what was on it, the content? And she said, no, I will not, as a matter of freedom of speech. Seriously, Bill, I have serious issue with that. Yeah,
well, I was told by somebody, the reason I asked the question is that I was told by somebody that, in fact, somebody who looked at the group, the names yesterday, her name was gone, was no longer there yesterday.
Okay, well, I guess Gerry, Ms. Rogers would probably have to speak to that, but my knowledge, and equivocally said that she would not be leaving the group. So, and Bill, if I can I know a lot of people have been throwing out analogies. I know myself as a member of the House of Assembly, when I'm in a group of people, say, for example, we're talking about whatever the case may be, and if the conversation turns, and it turns to something, sexist in nature or racist in nature, whatever the case, I remove myself from that conversation.
Yeah.
And I do every time, and I have been in those situations myself. And I think, I like to liken it to the Facebook world. It's one thing if she didn't know she was a member, and that's fine, we can argue that day and night. But the thing is, after being made aware of it and then choose to remain, that speaks volumes.
All right, so if you're at a social gathering and some lout makes a racist comment that you don't agree with, what do? Do you go aboard the person, maybe risk getting a punch in the face for your pains? Do you walk away from the person? Do you leave the group? How do you show your disagreement and displeasure with some loutish racist comment?
Normally, I'll voice my displeasure, basically setting the person straight. It all depends on the circumstances. But if I'm in a circle of people, I'm speaking literally here. If I'm in a circle of people, of 6 people, and the conversation turns and it turns to something distasteful that I don't want to be privy to or part of, I leave. Right. Literally, I leave the group. I leave those 6 people, and I'll go talk to someone else because I have no interest in that.
All right.
That type of discourse.
Well, listen, we got your point of view loud and clear. I'm glad you got on. We put you on in order, but you obviously were eager to get on to express your point of view.
Absolutely.
And one of the reasons why we made sure you got on in a timely fashion, Sandy, was that I had to say that the responses by email, tweet, and response to the question of the day all seemed, the vast majority of them are running in favor of Gerry Rogers' position against the Speaker's ruling and against what the government House Leader did by raising the matter in the first place. So hearing your point of view and hearing Trevor Taylor's point of view is good. It provides some balance, but I think you're swimming upstream on this one.
I could be, but certainly it's something I firmly believe in, and I certainly won't sit back. And again, the bigger piece is, after being made aware, she didn't remove herself, and that's something I certainly want to get across because I think people need to realize that as well. So there you have it.
Got you loud and clear. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Nice talking to you. Bye-bye. The PC supporter and PC member see nothing wrong with what happened in terms of the Speaker's ruling and the raising of the matter to begin with. I didn't ask Sandy Collins the question as to whether people wasting their time scouring through Facebook sites to see whose name is on what. I didn't ask him that. I assume that probably some research staff dug up the fact that Gerry Rogers was on this site with hundreds of other names, but people may wish to comment on that as well. Somebody sent a tweet, Megan was just book for dummies, because no people don't seem to understand how Facebook operates. Well, okay, I'm going to raise my hand from the back of the classroom on that one. Please, miss, how does Facebook work? Because there seems to be some confusion on it. Here's one, for example. The epic failure of understanding of Facebook by these people is astounding. This is 2013, not 1913. I think I'll take a break and take a breather.